we're going to turn our focus to the second degree of the A major scale, which is the B note. Now it's important for me to say this, we are still using the notes from the A major scale. It is the 7 same tones, but we're turning our focus now to that second degree, the B note. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be playing the scale, but first what we're going to do is we're going to create the chord that is built from that tone. So we start with the B, and we apply the same methodology as we did for the first chord. We stack thirds, but we're starting with the note B. So let's start there. Reference your chart with me as well, because I'm going to reference it with you. Now we start with the B. Now we skip the note C sharp, which would be 2 from B, and we go to the D note. That would be a third from B. So we're going to add the note D to the note B. Okay, that gives us our third. Now we're going to do the same thing from D. We're going to stack a third above D. So we're going to skip E and go to F sharp. Now that gives us the fifth away from B. All right, so we've got B, D, and F sharp. Now those notes are going to give me a B minor triad. Now I'm going to delineate why that's a B minor triad instead of a major triad here. And the reason is, if you remember on our A chord, we had 2 whole tones between the first note and the third note, okay? Now that's called an interval, and the distance in pitch is a major third when you have 2 whole tones. If you look at the chart, you can see that B up to D gives us a whole tone and a half tone. So in effect, we've got a flattened third, or a third that is a semitone difference in pitch than we need it to be a major third. So that makes that a minor third, okay? Now, so we've got a B minor triad, consists of 3 notes, and you may be familiar with these shapes on the fingerboard, so let me show you these. Now there's B minor 7 as a bar chord, a 2nd fret. Here's my B. Next tone is F sharp, which we said was the 5th. We have B again, which is the octave. D is here, and that's my minor third. Remember, it's a minor third. And then we have F sharp again. And you can hear that's a minor sound as well, very sad kind of sound to the chord. Okay, and that can be played as single notes as well, so you could have a B minor arpeggio. Now you guys may or may not know these shapes, but if you broke that into its single notes, which is what an arpeggio is, okay, F sharp, D, B, F sharp, D, B. Okay, they're the single tones in that position over that chord shape. Let's move up the fretboard now, more into the position we've been used to be playing in. Now there's our B minor bar chord at the 7th fret. Just to prove the notes to you as well that are making up that chord, we have our B note in the root here, the bass, F sharp here on the 5th string, 9th fret, B again, D is being held down here on the 7th fret, 3rd string. We have F sharp again and B. There's our triad, okay? Now also you could play that as an arpeggio here too. Okay, and you can hear that. So we've taken 3 notes starting from the B, stacking thirds to create our second chord in the key of A. Second chord in the key of A. Remember that, guys. Now we can add the 7th to that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go a third above where we left off, which was the 5th. So look at your chart again. We've got F sharp was our 5th. Let's go a third above that. So we're going to skip the G sharp and we're going to go to the A. Now the A is a minor 7th, okay? And remember, when we said we had a major 7th, it was a semitone away from its resolution point, okay? Now, A up to B is a major second difference, not a minor second. Remember, we had a minor second or a semitone away from our resolution on the major 7 chord. This time, we've got a major second difference, and that makes that a minor 7th. So when we add the 7th to our B minor triad with the minor third, we get B minor 7. Let me show you those chords here. And effectively, all you do is you take off the little finger here on this shape that was holding down an octave of the first note, our B, and that's giving me the A tone here at the 2nd fret. Great sounding chord. It's not as intense as the triad, but a great sound, okay? Same thing here when we play this chord shape. I'm going to take out the little finger, and that's going to release for me an A note in the chord. Okay, now that's the minor 7th shape. Okay, and we've got our arpeggios as well that we can play that totally correspond with those chords. It's the chord tones. Let me show you the arpeggio in position out of our scale shape, okay? And the arpeggio would be this. Okay, B, D, F sharp, A, B, D, F sharp, A, B. Okay, there's our arpeggio. Now, as you know, we can use the arpeggios to improvise over the chord that we're playing, and that's going to give us all the sweet notes, which is really killer, right? So, in effect, if you play an arpeggio and use it musically over the chord that corresponds with that, you're not going to hit a bad note. It's the notes in between that aren't going to sound as strong. So these are great resolution points, great to improvise with. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to pull up a track of a B minor 7 chord, not just the B minor, a B minor 7, and I'm going to play the A major scale now, but starting and ending on B. So it's going to be this. Now that's the A major scale, but B to B, not A to A. So that's going to give us the Dorian mode, right? But we'll get into that more in depth in a second. So we're going to play the scale over the chord. We're going to utilize the arpeggio as well. Okay, and we're going to jam simply first, then we're going to spread out a little bit, and I'm going to put some kind of cool licks in there as well, which of course I'm going to show you later in the course as well. Let's go to the track. And of course, if you need more reference to this, keep going back to the chart, rewind the video, and listen to what I'm telling you about the essences and the nuances in each of these chords. Okay, A major scale played from B to B. Try that, guys. How it has a strong resolution point to the B chord, not the 1 chord. Okay, let's play the arpeggio. Over to you guys. Scale. Over to you. Arpeggio. Put some tasty licks in here, guys. Okay, we're going to step it up a little. Resolving to tones of B minor. Brilliant. And a scale run. Very cool, guys. Okay, so remember, scale runs, arpeggio ideas. Make it musical, okay? And you have this jam track, you can jam as much as you like. So to recap over that, we've been playing the A major scale, but from B to B. We've focused on that second tonality now of the A major scale, the B note. We've created the chord, the triad, a 3-note chord from the scale, using the formula that we were taught to do. Okay, so taking thirds, stacking thirds from the B, not the A, okay? And we added the 7th to that as well, and we found that Adding the 7th to the B minor triad that we built, we got a B minor 7 chord. Now that B minor 7 chord can be broken into its single tones, the arpeggio, and an arpeggio is all of the sweet notes, right, against the chord, so great killer resolution points. Now, when you're playing over a chord progression from the A major scale and it resolves to the 2 chord, at B minor chord, right, or B minor 7, you are playing the Dorian mode. It's the A major scale, but resolving to tonalities of the 2 chord, using the scale to resolve to tonalities of the 2, and using the arpeggios to resolve to the tonalities of the 2. You heard that in practice. Jam with the track, practice the arpeggios, understand your chord tones, know the notes in the chords, and we're going to progress through this with each of these chords, helping you really understand and nail the knowledge that you need to be playing incredible modal licks and ideas. Okay, so anyway, let's move on now to our third tone, the C sharp.